Hey everybody. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to create a workflow basically that can select the best AI model to answer our questions, because there are so many models out there, aren't there, right? So here's just a quick demo. I'm going to send in some input through, and okay, so hi. Hello, how can I assist you today is the response from that. What we've done is we've used ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, and the reason why it's selected that is probably because it's cheap and it's easy and it's not a difficult question. Let's try something a little bit more difficult. How about writing a blog? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a blog about doing a San Francisco walking tour here. Send that in. Okay, cool. So that took like about a minute there. Now it's written a blog about San Francisco walking tour. Let's just open that up. Okay, great. So now we've got that blog that's ready to be sent out. Okay, so in this case, what we did is we used GPT-4 because there's a more complicated, input. As you can probably tell, the power of this is that we are choosing from, the variety of models that are out there and getting the best answer back based on maybe some criteria that we're going to set up. All right, so let's dive into how we can put this together. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a few tools here. One is called Open Router, and the other one is called N8N. Okay, so introducing Open Router here, just go to this website and you'll see that, what it's got is it's got a ton of models which it has access to. And we're going to basically use Open Router to, get all of those model names, and we're also going to decide what the best model is to choose. Basically you can come here, create an account, straightforward. And what I'll do now is show you N8N. So N8N is a workflow tool, really good, I think. You can get started and set that up for yourself here just using this button. So I'm just going to sign in here. And I'm going to open up firstly, that one that I just did for you so that you can kind of see the completed one. And here's a high level of what's going on. I'm using Telegram to trigger this off. So each of these workflows need a trigger to start off. That's always the first step. So I've done that. It's taking the input from what I've sent in through Telegram. It's then using this AI agent here to select what the best model is to answer that original query. And then it's got another AI agent, which is taking in, firstly, the message that I sent in from Telegram. And secondly, it is taking in from this original AI agent here, what the best model is to answer this question. Finally, what we're doing is we're sending that to the log, which we were just watching earlier, as well as sending the final answer out to Telegram. Okay, so let's dive in a little more so that we can see each of these things in action. And I'm going to just kind of build it all from scratch here so we can follow along like that. Okay, so here's what it looks like when it's like got nothing in it. You have to add your first step. So click on the plus there, and we're going to trigger this using Telegram. Could use any trigger we like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select on message here. So what's going on here is that we need to connect our Telegram account to this. So I'm going to create a new credential here. What you need to do is effectively put in your API key. And the way to do that, I'm going to show you now in Telegram itself. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do in Telegram is you're going to need to message this guy, the bot father, right? And in here, what we can do is I'll just show you the help. All right, so here's bot father. Here's what he can do. We're going to create a new bot. Okay, so we need a name for this. How about... Okay, so I'm going to choose that as my name. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we've created that bot. What we can do now is we can just click on here and then we can start that bot up. So now we've got our test bot going. And more importantly, here we go. Here's the token. So I'm going to copy that there and I'm going to paste that in. Okay, great. So now we have our credentials set up, and effectively that means that when I go into Telegram and what I'm going to do is I need to test a step here. So I'm just going to go into Telegram now. I'm going to go into that bot and we'll just test it. Yeah, so by typing in something here, what should happen across in N8 to N is that, you know, it's got this hi, you know, so that's come in through this trigger here. Great. Let's go back to our, you know, canvas. Okay, so it's received that message. Now what we needed to do is we are going to send that into our AI agent. Plus AI agent. Sorry, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to click the plus here so it's connected. I'm going to make an AI agent. Okay, so AI agent needs some inputs here. So we're going to use a defined input. And what's the prompt? We're going to take that original text there from the Telegram trigger, and we're going to drop it in there. So it's dynamic. It knows, you know, that it should select whatever trigger had. I'm just going to quickly run this test step so we can see what's next. And we need to connect basically a chat model in order to handle this, this thing for the AI agent. All right, to set up that model, what I'm going to do is here is I'm going to click plus, and I'm going to select from a list of chat models that are available to us. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the OpenRouter chat model, right? So clicking on that, I'll create a new credential in OpenRouter. Go over to OpenRouter here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically set up an API. Go down here, and I'm going to see my keys, and basically I'm going to create an AI key. So let's just call this test delete. So, you know, that's it. Okay, unlimited, whatever. Okay, so now I've got this key here. I'm going to copy that guy down, and I'm going to move back to my workflow, and I'm just going to paste that guy in. Okay, so now we've got like something to do. We're also going to need to, you know, have a little bit more in this. So we're going to add a system message. All right, so here's my system message, which I'm going to use. Effectively, what we're doing is we're saying that, okay, you're an AI. Your job is to choose an LLM based on that request that we had. It's going to analyze that, and it is going to select from this list here. So what I've done is I've pre-populated, of course, but I've chosen to select from a list that are available from OpenRouter. So, you know, what we can do here is we can just go into OpenRouter. We'll check out what models they have available for us. And it's going to be this huge list, of course, right? So I copied a few out of this list, and then I again used a chatbot to basically say what do each of these do in given use cases. And I've kind of pasted that over here so we can see there's a bunch of models that I've been interested in, and I've, you know, like got a short description about good use cases for each of them. And then at the bottom here, you can see that the output of this AI agent is going to be basically which model, right? So it's going to be just that one line, you know, so it's going to maybe output something like OpenAI GPT-4 if that was selected. Okay, great. So where are we now? We've finished off this AI agent who is choosing the model based on what we like. And we're now going to take that and we're going to pass that to another agent. Okay, great. So here we go. So a new agent, and you know what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to, okay, we're not going to do it with a chat. We're going to define it. And what is the prompt that we've got for that? Well, it's going to be taking the message that we had earlier, right? So I'm just going to run the previous node so that we have something here on the left. And the message comes from Telegram from us earlier. I'm going to grab this text, and I just drop that in there. So there we go. It's got that message, which was just hi earlier. And what we'll do now is we'll set up, you know, what model this AI agent should use to process this. So in order to add that chat model, which is required, we just click on this, and then we again are just going to be using OpenRouter. Okay, as we can see, it's defaulted to GPT-4o Mini. But actually what we want here is from that original agent, we're going to drag in this, and that's an expression. So now it's dynamic. It is taking what the output is, which was in this case to use 3.5 turbo, and that has been chosen based on the fact that we said hi. Of course, you know, had we said something more complicated, then, you know, it would probably come out with a more advanced model, but that's the beauty of dynamic. Okay, so by running it, what's actually going to happen is we're going to have an error, and the reason why is because of this little /n, right? Going to actually affect this here because we don't want that. In order to resolve this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim that off with some JavaScript. Okay, great. So now what we've got on the right here is the output. It's used that new model, right? This in this case 3.5 turbo, and it's given us an output. All right, so I mean we've pretty much done it now. You can either direct this straight away to your Telegram, or in my case, what I did was I created a Google Sheet, and that's going to be our log. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to update, a row in that spreadsheet. Okay, so what we'll again need to do is we'll need to put in a credential, right? So that's just using this OAuth. We'll sign in with Google, and now it's connected to our Google Sheets. Beyond that, okay, now that it's connected, we can choose various ways, but simplest is to just select from a list. I'm going to choose a spreadsheet that I made, and I'm going to choose sheet 1, right? So from the list again, I'm just going to select, and there is only that one sheet, and I'm going to map in all of these columns, right? So let's just quickly jump back to that spreadsheet. Okay, so you create your own one, of course. Here's the headers that I've put in to map into: timestamp, input, output, what model we used, right? And effectively with that setup, we're gonna be able to connect this now. Going back in, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select various columns, right? And I'm just gonna be inputting into these things that we've created from earlier, right? So timestamp is now. The input is, what came from Telegram. The output is what came out of our AI agent. And the model that we have came from the first AI agent that we had. Okay, great. So now what we can see is that the output is timestamp, input, output, model. And if we just jump over to our Google Sheet, there we go. Okay, and to wrap this up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it back to Telegram. Again, hooking up that original credential here. Where am I going to send it? I got the chat ID coming in from that Telegram trigger earlier. I'm going to drop that guy in here. I'm going to say what it is that I came out with. So I could really select this from either the agent, or I can select it from the Google Sheet. I'll just do it from that. Final thing to do is, N8N likes to say, this is produced by N8N. We're going to turn that off. Okay, great. So if I went down to my Telegram now, you can see that, it's basically said, "Hi, how can I assist you today?" Great. Okay, now that we got that all set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, turn that workflow on. Got it. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to, write a blog about hairstyles, basically. Okay, great. So now that that's done, here we go. There's our blog about hairstyles. It's come right back at us. And, just to go back into our log here, that's the blog. What did it use? It used Mistral AI. Okay, of course. So great. Now what we're doing is we're choosing the best models to answer our questions. We're going to choose them as they be appropriate. If it's complicated, it's going to go for a more powerful model. If it's simple, it's going to go for a less complicated model. And, that is for efficiency and to keep our costs down. So, all right, hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, or whatever. And we'll see you in the next one.